made it. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, you look fantastic. Mwah. Thank you for coming. Y'all have enough cake? Y'all having a good time?
Kenneth? Hi.
Sandra. Hello.
Isn't Janet here?
No, she couldn't make it.
Oh, that's too bad.
Not really, she didn't want to come.
Oh, she's home with the baby.
No, the baby is home with the nanny. Janet's skiing with her girlfriends in Aspen. The helicopter pilot was nice enough to send photos of them on the slopes. Looks very Sex and the City.
And that's a good thing.
She seems to think so, so she's happy and leaves me alone to enjoy my daughter's wedding in peace.
With your first wife instead of your third wife.
She's my last wife, not my third wife.
Oh, well, good, because marry any younger and some Appalachian farmer will be chasing after you with his shotgun.
You always were so sarcastic and sardonic.
Funny. The word you're looking for is funny.
What's funny is I thought I could enjoy my daughter's wedding in peace from my wives.
What's funny is you thought this wife wouldn't be at our daughter's wedding.
Right, touche. Come on, let's enjoy this cake. Besides, the people are staring at the parents, and next thing you know, they'll want us to waltz for the cameras.
Oh, and how you hate attention.
You know, you were the only one of my wives I did not propose to.
To whom I didn't propose.
Yeah, I didn't do that either.
So tell me, how did we get married?
Because you told my mother and grandmother we were getting married. They came over for lunch one day, and you just exclaimed, "Kenneth and I are engaged." They were so happy I couldn't say anything. My grandmother took her vintage ring off.
It wasn't vintage back then.
Her ring off her finger and said, "As the newest bride of the family, this rightfully belonged to you." She thought that our engagement was so spontaneous I didn't have time to get a ring.
And
She was right.
You know, you could have called it off after that.
How could I have called it off? They both had breast cancer at the time. You knew that when you pulled that stunt. There weren't many advancements in treatment back then. It was basically a death sentence. Our wedding was something they could plan together, take their mind off of things. I wasn't about to take that mind off. I was going to take that joy away from them.
You know, they died within 3 months of each other that very, very next year.
They thought you were wonderful.
And you?
Oh, they loved me.
Ken,
What?
what did you think of me?
When I saw you walking down the aisle on our wedding day in that beautiful big dress, I thought, this is a colossal mistake.
You did.
It was a mistake almost as big as that dress. From what big dress store did you get that thing from?
Kleinfeld.
Oh, Kleinfeld's, a New York institution. See, my other wives had to fly to Milan and Paris.
Oh,
to
they
get
had
theirs.
to.
Well, they just wanted to fly on my private plane. Get this. Janet was pissed off when she found out that there's no first class on a private plane.
Ooh, nouveau rich.
No, she's still broke. She just manages to spend all my money. I'll tell you, you can take the yoga studio out of the girl, but you can't take the girl out of the yoga studio.
Kenneth.
What? Come on, repackaging an age-old practice of Indian people who she would not condescend to speak to on the street, by the way, and then selling it to a bunch of rich white ladies who think she's the guru because she managed to land permanently into a temporary position, all while failing to make it onto Broadway.
She and everyone else in New York.
Yeah, except for she managed to make it onto my private jet. But now she wants to forget that she ever worked for a living and treat anyone who does like shit.
Kenneth, girls like Janet are obvious. You can't blame her for being who she is.
That's true. She didn't coerce me. Unlike some wives I know.
So, tell me, when did you know you wanted to divorce me?
1977. It was the summer of sand. It was in the middle of the blackout. I came home from work, I climbed up those 4 flights of stairs in the dark. And by the way, I've never even told my therapist this. And I remember thinking, if this is the end, like everyone says it is this how I want to spend my last days? And the answer was no. How about you?
On our wedding day. You weren't the only one who knew it was a colossal mistake as I walked down that aisle.
Now you tell me?
Better late than never.
Well, so why did you go through with it? You could have left me at the altar.
I could have left you at the altar, but not your mother and not your grandmother. You know, you weren't the only one who couldn't take their happiness away from them. Besides, I could not wear that big old dress of Kleinfeld's anywhere else. I thought I could get some use out of it.
That was one big dress. Say, let's waltz for the cameras, huh?
Oh, all that money and you never really learned how to dance.
I don't need to learn how to dance. I have all that money.
Even after your divorce from Francis. That took ages.
Yep, 5 long years in divorce court just to make her go away.
$250 million to go away.
Well, somebody here reads page 6 of the New
Oh,
York
kid,
Post.
everyone here reads page 6 of the New York Post. That's why they're staring at us.
That's true. Here, let's wait till the people give them the show that they want.
You know, why did you give Frances all that money? She was horrible. You know, you said yourself, she didn't leave a career to marry you. She didn't lift a finger around the house because of all the staff you hired. The nannies took care of the daughter you had with her. And the daughter won't even speak to her anymore. So what did she do to earn $250 million?
She was so horrible that I never wanted to see her again. Look, I've got more than enough money for myself, for all my wives, for my progeny, for generations. Why do I want to be stuck in courts all pushing their cases?
When you could just marry someone younger than your daughter with your first wife and recreate the whole thing all over again. Why is it that you never saw what a colossal mistake your subsequent weddings were?
Because by then I just realized that men of my generation get married. That's what we do. Besides, it's not like I can go to a club and meet short.
Oh, don't say that.
Okay, it did sound funnier in my head.
Keep that in your head.
But seriously, it's not like when we got divorced. I went to Studio 54 and I was doing coke with all these hot models. You should have seen it. They were literally swinging from the chandeliers back then.
I know, I was there.
You were swinging from the chandeliers at Studio 54? I could have sworn I would have remembered seeing you there.
You just said you were high on cocaine. How could you remember anything in Studio 54?
Were you at that New Year's Eve party?
Ooh, they had a 4-inch layer of gold glitter on the floor? Yes, I was.
I would have sworn I would have run into you there.
So you did.
I did?
In the ladies' room.
You ran into you in the ladies' room?
Your penis ran into my vagina. And it was the best sex we ever had.
Well,
Must have been the cocaine.
whether I found glitter in my ass crack the next morning.
Tom, kid, everyone in that party found glitter in their ass crack. You were always such a narcissist.
You have to be to work on Wall Street. Say, why didn't you ever get remarried? Tell me that.
Tell me why I never crashed a car after being in a car crash. You tell me.
Come on. We weren't that bad, were we?
Oh, Ken, the colossal mistake of our marriage? Come on, we finally agreed on one thing.
Yeah. But we did raise the happiest, most beautiful bride in the world, who's staring at us right now. Wait till I let her.
Oh, Ken, hold on one second. I have something that belongs to you.
It's nice to get something from an ex-wife that's handed to me by her, not a processor. I'll tell you that. seen this since the summer of Sam.
I know. I'm sorry.
Don't be. Give it to our first grandchild.